Hi, welcome to Ocean Truth Podcast. My name is Josh.
And I'm Dane. In WA, there's been fresh calls for mandatory reporting of recreational catch. In New South Wales, there's been a few people caught in illegal fishing operations on the central coast of New South Wales. And after an 8-year freeze, Indian minister has claimed that Australia will be allowing unpeeled prawns into our system. So we'll start with that one. Last week I was trying to come up with an article to write about, and sometimes you struggle when writing so much we're up to 80 on Monday. It'll be the 80th blog post. While doing some research, trying to find something to write about, I came across this 8-year freeze that was going to be taken off by Australia. After that, I started making some calls to members of Parliament to find out what was going on. Since then, a member for the Shooters, Fishers and Farmers Party raised the question in the Legislative Council in New South Wales, which was great. Thank you, Mark, for acting so quickly. And since then, we've had Sydney Seafood Industry Australia come out and say that this is not the case. It is just a jumbling of words from the Indian minister. Which, if that is the case, all good and well. However, while doing my research, I found that there is a trade agreement called, I believe it's ECTA, going on at the moment, and it's ongoing. So with the way that it was worded from Seafood Industry Australia, they are correct. The rules have not changed, but they are not they're not required to be changed until the agreement has been reached and the correct authorities are notified to change those rules. So we're not up to that point yet, and I am not going to sit by and wait for this to happen. I'm still going to be putting pressure on. I sent a letter to my federal local member the other day asking for clarification and whether the Indian unpeeled prawns are under negotiation under the new trade agreement. I haven't got a response yet, but I will let you know when I do. So we're just going to have a bit of a chat on that. Josh, do you want to tell us your thoughts on that one?
Well, it just baffles me how we've still got the likes of the Clarence. They are waiting eagerly to find out what their future is going to hold, and it's all to do with white spot disease. And this freeze was put in place 8 years ago for a reason, and one of those reasons was the biosecurity that made Australia look at that product and say, we don't want it here. And we're still closed, like they're still closed at the Clarence to get prawns out of the market, out of the water. Yet there's talks that we're going to start importing more prawns from the likes of India. So it just very, very strange. And once we get a bit more certainty from the politicians there to confirm whether or not this is true and the agreement has been signed and the adjustment will be made and the freeze will be lifted, then we'll know whether we're going to push forward. But the Indian, commentary is definitely coming out there saying that it's looking good for India with their export market coming into Australia again.
Yeah, and look, what's the likelihood that the Indian minister is going to go out there and just say unpeeled prawns and they meant uncooked?
Yeah.
They're completely different things.
Yeah.
My view on this is we're an island nation, and why are we looking to import more prawns into Australia instead of growing our commercial sector? We have net-free zones, recreational only fishing havens, marine parks. The answer shouldn't be kicking commercial fishing out of these areas. It should be to manage, which we have done. We are very heavily managed in our industry, and we should be growing this industry. These recreational only fishing havens, why don't we look at getting some prawning, estuary prawning in those areas, some set pocket nets. There's plenty of fishes, and we would like to see some succession planning in this industry by way of traineeships or something along those lines, where young people can see this industry as an option moving forward, which we don't have at the moment.
No.
And that will be part of the Wild Caught Fishers Coalition strategic plan. That's a big part of it, the succession planning. So anyway, that's my view. We shouldn't be looking at importing more product from overseas. We should be trying to grow our industry and not be such a pathetic nation that listens to globalists who want to redistribute our wealth to other countries. I just don't think that is in our best interest, and I know not many politicians care about what's in our best interest, but we certainly need to speak up.
Well, when I was looking at this prawn issue, I did look up the Australian Council of Prawn Fisheries, and they're a representative body, let's say, that is there to support the prawn fishers. That's the name kind of gives that sense that that's what they're for. And when I looked up what their strategy is, it blew me away when I saw that number one for them is to limit the number of boats licensed to catch prawns. So their goal is to reduce the number of fishers. So are they going to talk about the fact that India may be exporting prawns back to Australia? Probably not, because they don't care. They want to reduce the number of prawn fishers here in Australia for some reason. The other thing, they also focus on making sure that the gear selection is constantly changing, adapting to kind of restrict all the sort of bycatch you might get from fishing. So where a prawn trawler might also catch a little bit of finfish to feed the market as well, they're now more targeted, and we're just catching prawns when we go out there. And then the final thing is, and this is on their website, is to reduce the effort and the area available for prawn fishing. And I just look at that saying, you're the Council of Prawn Fisheries. None of those sound like they're in support of actual prawn fishermen.
No. And the one thing I've noticed in my almost 20 years in the industry is there's a select group in the industry who are the ones that hold the power. They have the ears of the minister. They have they they get to basically write the policy that impacts us. And one thing I've found is they are always looking at ways to increase the value instead of actually growing the industry.
Yeah.
And one of those controls that they often look at is reducing the number of fishes, which is what we saw in the reform, and that's why there was, I think, when we did our roadshow, Wild Caught Fishers Coalition, we had I think it was 88.9% of the fishers that we spoke to were against the reform.
Yeah.
Yet the reform came through because the recognised body at the time, who the minister was listening to, the PFA, and the Sydney fish markets, some of the co-ops, they supported it coming
Australia,
in.
I believe.
Yeah.
So they soft supported it.
Yeah.
So
that's
it was like the way it was done was they didn't outwardly say we support the reform. They would say, look, we would support it if we get this,
Correct.
this and this. So things like training programs was offered, and then the bodies would get awarded funding to do those programs.
Yeah.
Okay. The mental health program.
Yeah.
Okay. That's one that got floated out there as a way to help transition the fishermen from having their livelihoods and operating the way they were to having this new set of limitations set on them with the shares and everything they need to learn. They need financial literacy. Their mental health was now under the radar because that kept getting brought up. So they're like, well, it's fine. We'll support it if you provide us funding to run a mental health program or to run a financial literacy program.
Yeah.
And it went through because the ones that should have been there to push back on these changes, they actually got their hand in the pie to say, well, as long as we get something for it, we'll support it.
Yeah.
So,
and all the government needs is soft support.
Yeah.
And there is prick up.
Yeah.
We're
exactly.
right. We're good.
It's all about negotiation. Like what can we do to make you say yes? And that's what the bodies at that time did, even though the fishers themselves did not support any of this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think bringing attention to these organisations that say they're in support of Australian caught seafood, when in reality they're not, is something that we are going to continue doing. And Ocean Truth Australia, with the articles we've been putting out, we have shone some lights on a number of parties like that people need to be aware of.
Yeah. So we also have in WA fresh calls for mandatory reporting of recreational catch. Now,
how is that going to be done? Seriously?
Look.
The way they've been doing it at the moment is essentially surveying at the boat ramp.
Yeah.
You'd turn up, you'd have someone with a clipboard, and you say, oh, did you see any jewfish? Oh, no, I didn't see it. There's none out there. And meanwhile, they're out there catching 3, 4, 5 different jewfish. But they don't want to share that information because then they'll know, oh,
correct,
there's jewfish out there. Yeah. And we won't put restrictions on the commercial fishers.
Yeah. So the crazy thing is the likes of Wreckfish West, I've forgotten the one in Victoria. I think it's VR Fish.
Yeah.
The New South Wales Recreational Fishing Alliance. All of these recreational fishing bodies, the Australian Fishing Trade Association, all I can say is, what did you think was going to happen?
Yeah.
You have spent over a decade now trying to eradicate sustainable commercial fishing. You've wiped us out of areas. You've created net-free zones, recreational fishing havens. You've fought for marine parks with recreational access but exclusion to commercial fishing. All you've done is tried to get rid of commercial fishing. Now, the difference between commercial fishing and recreational fishing is the population that don't go fishing for themselves rely on commercial fishing. Recreational fishers, they might feed their friends and family, but ultimately they're going out for themselves. And let me be clear, I do not blame the average recreational fisher that goes out and goes fishing and loves it and they stay to themselves. It is the lobbyists who are causing this issue for you as recreational fishers. And the worst part is they don't actually need your membership to lobby on your behalf. They just do it. They are the recognised peak bodies throughout all these states, and they do what they like. And they tell the minister whatever they want. All they need is a little bit of vocal support from the recreational sector, and they go with it. And this is where it comes to. We report our catch. We have been heavily managed. We've got gear restrictions. We've got locational closures. We've got time of year closures. We're run on shares. We need a certain amount of shares to go to work.
As soon as we drop the net boat in the water, we have to report that we're using one of our days to go fishing.
Yeah, so you push for all of this on a sector that is heavily managed.
Yeah.
Where did you think this was going to go?
Yeah, and now when the fish are obviously not being caught by commercial fishers, and you're saying the fish are going away, well,
it's not us.
It's someone else, and if the rec fishers aren't reporting, then the call to report kind of has to be there, but how that's going to be managed. Yeah. And the same applies to cultural fishing as well. There's no controls in place to report any sort of cultural take in any of the waters. It's purely just commercial fishers that are required to report all the catch they take. And then you've also got the Sydney fish markets that feed reports to fisheries as well, to provide all the information about the commercial sector anyone can possibly need. And we're in a massive decline in terms of our numbers and continuing to drop. So as people, or at this stage, it's people passing away, unfortunately, is what is reducing the numbers, because there's not really that many people who are actively looking to buy into commercially fish in Australia anymore, because the future is unsure. Yeah, so
with recreational lobbyists, environmental activists, you name it, we cop it. A good example of this is it was a few years ago now, but I was going to refuel at one of the docks it's like a pontoon type thing where the truck met us. And anyway, I was waiting there, and it's at a recreational fishing boat ramp, a very popular one. And when I was just sitting there, one of the boats came up alongside and asked if I have any squid or prawns to sell them, because they're going out for a fish. And I said, no, mate, it's a Saturday. He's like, yeah, and? I'm like, we're not allowed to troll on Saturdays. He said, what? Why not? That's when I go fishing. That's when I need fresh bait. And I just said to him, well, don't talk to me. Talk to the lobbyists that use your name to say that you want it closed.
Yep.
So my call to action, I guess, on this is all your recreational fishers out there who rely on commercial fishing to buy your bait, who actually don't mind sharing the resource, you need to call these lobbyists out because they don't speak for you. And until you do that, things like this are going to start happening more and more. Once the commercial fishery has been wiped out, who do you think the environmental activists are going to come after? It's going to be you. They already started with Gus the Groper. So, yeah, don't think you're untouchable. We're just an easier target.
Yeah, because small in number.
Yeah.
It's not a touch screen.
So, speaking of recreational fishing, 2 days ago, New South Wales, or 3 days ago, New South Wales Fisheries posted a illegal and unlawful netting activity detected on the central coast of New South Wales. Now, it's it looks like a funnel net, and it's a decent sized net for an illegal fishing operation. And they've, in their update, they mention that they inspected 331 recreational prawn fishers, detected 50 offences, issued 16 penalty notices and 34 written cautions, seized 28 items, including fish, prawns and illegal unlawful nets. So that's just an update on that. And yeah, I mean, look, and this is the sort of thing that's going to happen as commercial fishing gets wiped out and taken out of areas.
Yeah,
It becomes an opportunity for criminals. And, you know, this isn't a reflection on recreational fishers, but it's not a good look. It's the same as when you have commercial fishers doing the wrong thing. Unfortunately, we all cop the hate for it because it's commercial fishing and it's a commercial fisher that did the wrong thing, which happens, and I'm not a fan of people that do the wrong thing. And for them to find this many people just in the Central Coast, imagine how much is going on.
Yeah. Well, it's a void is being created in the market.
Yeah.
Where people need and want prawns, so when they're not getting the product from the commercial fishers anymore, Clarence being closed, our numbers are dwindling in the Hawkesbury. Other river systems are also reducing in numbers as well. So the prawn stock available from our industry is declining. You're going to have opportunities like this where rec fishers see an opening and take it. And then, like, are they just catching those prawns for himself? I can't imagine someone catching, let's say, 20, 30 kilos of prawns, consuming it by themselves. You normally maybe 2-3 kilos for a family feast.
Yeah.
Outside, and prawns don't stay good forever.
No.
And yeah, so they're obviously not catching the prawns just for himself. If you're using a small scoop net and you're going by and pick up a kilo of prawns, I can understand that.
Yeah.
But yeah, with a large funnel net like this that's going to catch upwards of 20 plus kilos of prawns if set correctly, you're obviously doing the wrong thing, creating a bit of a black market, selling illegally caught prawns.
Yeah.
We pay a lot of money to commercially fish
Mm.
and to maintain our trawler and our operation. It sets us back a lot in costs.
Yeah.
And when someone like that can just come up with a net and encroach on the space where they don't have to pay the same fees to do what we do, it's not right.
No. Well, thank you for joining us. We'll leave it there. Make sure you subscribe to the YouTube channel so you get updated. Click the bell thingy. And our blogs now come out on Wednesday. My one comes out on Wednesday. Josh's comes out on Fridays. And this video will come out on Monday. So content every Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It was good joining you, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah, and we're going to continue finding ways to improve what we're doing here. So as it is early days, you can look at some other podcasts, and they start off pretty scratchy, but then over time they get better. So that's our aim. You gotta start somewhere, and that's what we're doing. But we're here to put out the information to you guys in various formats, being this podcast, being the blog posts that we do twice weekly, and other sort of feedback methods. We got comments on videos and on our posts that we try and get back to you. So by all means, if you got something to say, some information you want to share with us to raise our awareness of a given topic, or you'd like us to cover a certain topic, make sure you get in touch with us and let us know.
You can send anything that you want us to cover at reach us at oceantruthaustralia.com. Thank you. See you later.